Now here is the carving. This is my carving of the fourth joyful mystery, which is the presentation of the baby Jesus in the temple. The narrative is as follows, that after 40 days, after Mary had given birth to Christ and the ritual purification time had ended according to Mosaic law, they brought the baby Jesus to the temple to be presented. They brought him as a poor family to make sacrifice, offer sacrifice to the Levite priests of the temple, and they would kill 2 turtle doves or a dove or a pigeon or whatever the case may be. And during this presentation, the Holy Family were confronted by 2 people. One was Saint Simeon and the other was Saint Anna. And they were both, we would call them sort of mendicant prophets, very poor people who lived their whole lives in the temple and devoted their life to prayer, God, and serving the poor. And Saint Simeon makes a prophecy, a wonderful prophecy about the life of Christ. And Santa Anna makes a very wonderful prophecy, and also a religious prophecy, saying that that Mary herself will feel a wound like someone has stabbed her in the heart. So it prophesizes her son's political execution in the future. And the Holy Family is amazed by all of this, but they accept that such will be the case, and they wait for the sacrifices to be conducted, and then they return back home again. Now this is the image. When I first met my patron, Father Michael Bush, my employer rather, I asked for instruction as was appropriate. And he said to me, keep it simple, stick to the gospel story, and if you can, make these images peculiar and special to Toronto and St. Michael's Cathedral. So to show that the gospel is not a dry historical document, it's something that's alive, and something that faith is alive in our time now, I decided to place the first 5 images within the cathedral, in particular spots that referred to or where sacraments were conducted that had something to do with the nature of the Mass or a function of a particular part of the cathedral. So the story takes place in Jerusalem, in the great temple, well, Herod's temple, the second temple, which was basically an outer court and an inner court. And the inner court held the holiest of holies, the Ark of the Covenant, and the symbol of God's contract with his people. In Catholic churches, many Christian churches, we will have the area where the parishioners sit, and we will have the sanctuary. And this actual location is the northeastern corner of the cathedral, and that large structure you see in the distance is the tabernacle, which houses the Blessed Sacrament, the Eucharist that we take when we go to Mass, and represents for us the holiest of holies. So here we have the gospel story. We have the Levite priests conducting the sacrifice. We have the Holy Family here. Mary is in a position which shows as much shock and horror and surprise as acceptance. And then St. Simeon is holding the child Jesus and Santa Anna. But we live here today and now. And the gift of the Blessed Sacrament for us is something that's, it's the most beautiful concept, because like Dante's metaphor, it says that the fusion of 2 things which should be inimical are not. So it's impossible to travel at the speed of light, like in Dante's metaphor, and yet it happens through faith. It's impossible for us to say that an apple is an orange, and yet this is what we believe to be the true nature of the Blessed Sacrament. So being presented to the community, and then spiritually coming back to us as the Blessed Sacrament.